Hi guys, I hope everyone is doing well. I wanted to come on and do a reading, and I also wanted to tell you this story that I think is interesting and relevant to something that has happened in the news recently and what I want to read on. So about 6 or 7 months ago, I did a reading on Trump and what the FBI has on him, sort of like a reading that was like, does the FBI really have the goods on Trump, right? And trying to just like look deeper into that. And I used to do my readings in 2 parts more often, and so I had put the cards down, sat with them, and then sometimes I'll like get pulled away for a walk or to like make dinner or something, and then I finish the next morning. And a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, but occasionally I will get a dream like on the cards, which is always really interesting. And I got a dream that night, and I definitely related it to the cards because I just felt like it went to this in-between space, and I knew it was like giving me this message over and over, and the message was this song, Auld Lang Syne. It's that song, Should Auld Acquaintance Be Forgot? It's basically a song about old acquaintances not being forgotten. It's sort of in this old English wording, but that's what it means. Because I looked it up because I kept getting this song, and even though I know it's a popular holiday song, I still really felt it related to the reading. I also, like as I was getting it, because it was so persistent, I wrote it down on a pad of paper because that helps me for it to stop. And it did stop, but then I immediately got You're a Grand Old Flag, which is a different song, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna write that song down too and see what those lyrics are, you know, sort of see if I can solve the mystery. And it turns out that the You're a Grand Old Flag has that same lyric in it that means old acquaintances shall not be forgot. And so I was like, whoa, okay, so that's the line, that's the message. And then on top of that, I woke up in the morning and came out, and like I had overslept, and I walked out into the hallway, and I hear that song being sung like in my apartment. It sounded just sort of like almost this like angelic voice singing it. It turns out it was from a commercial that was on the TV that my husband was watching too loud, but it was like so surreal. I was like, oh my God, that song again, or that, you know, that lyric again. So I felt it, you know, related to the read that I had done, and that the answer to that question about like what does the FBI have or whatnot lies in Trump's old friends, basically, right? And that's what I said in the reading. I did like sort of try to make a guess. I made a guess on these guys that live in his building. I don't know if that will also end up happening, but I do remember Tom Barrack was like the first person who crossed my mind, and I didn't really know who he was. I just knew his face, because I even remember calling out and being like, help me think of this guy's name. Who is this guy? So that was like, you know, 6 or 7 months ago. And it turns out actually, and I've heard they had an indictment for Tom Barrack all the way back then, but the Justice Department was like, no, we're not gonna, you know, how they keep sort of letting these cases go that are friends of Trump's, right? And I don't know, the message seemed to be that his old acquaintances, his old friends, are sort of tied into what they have on him, and they will not be forgotten. And it was like when I saw that Tom Barrack got arrested, it like brought me back to that. I was like, oh my God, it's happening. And then I realized it has been happening. I mean, one by one, sort of if you consider his lawyer to be a friend. Trump doesn't really have friends. He has, you know, criminal associates or whatever, anyone who can scratch his back and he'll scratch their back. And, you know, Rudy Giuliani is a friend. I don't think he's been indicted yet, but we'll see. I think they at least have stuff on him, and, you know, he's lost his law license, I believe. And I remember at the time he had pardoned a bunch of his friends, but it's like, it was anyway, something about old friends, and it makes so much sense to me that they will do it this way, because so many, first of all, to hear that another foreign spy, right? It's like, It's going to make it easier for people to believe and accept when it happens to Trump that that it's true, because all of his old friends seem to be falling into this category. And I think you're going to see things like money laundering. I didn't even read all the indictments against this guy, but I'm sure, you know, foreign spy, I know that that was sort of one of them. And it's sort of like everyone around Trump. Mike Flynn, Paulie Manafort, Giuliani, sort of working with these Ukrainian mobster types, and doing what they wanted to try to influence American policy. So I think that ultimately we're gonna see more of Trump's old friends, or at least it's an indication that we're getting closer and we're on the right track. And this is like, obviously it's not random, it is going toward the eventual completion, I think, of all of this. So I thought we'd do a quick read on the Tom Barrack situation. Flip a few cards here for good measure. Reading on Tom Barrack, Trump's old acquaintance that has not been forgotten, even though the Justice Department tried to make that go away. Okay, something has fallen out. Let's see what it is. King of Swords. That can be like an investigator. It can also mean that a guy like Tom Barrack knows a lot. He's a guy that has information. Barrack was also senior advisor to Trump's presidential campaign and served as the chairman of his inaugural committee. Whew. And this is what they want. These guys want to save themselves. Okay. Because ultimately, it's going to end up being a big network. And it goes beyond. I mean, like, who are these guys working for? Like Turkey and the UAE, you know, I think Trump, Russia. Well, and Paulie Manafort seemed to be doing work for Russia. And these were all the sort of like bullies. Once Trump got elected, it seemed like those were like the countries that were acting like hotshots and bullies. It's like they had this big network. Pretty creepy that we were there. Oh my gosh, another one. Okay, let's see what this is. Oh, wow. So Four of Swords takes me to, wow, the inauguration, the White House. He knows something about Trump's election. I don't know if I'm allowed to say. He knows something about Trump's big day. I keep hearing about words you're not supposed to say on YouTube because they worry about certain words or whatever. So, but yeah, yeah, I think inauguration's a safe word to say. So that's what I get for that. Let's see what's on the surface of the situation. Tom Barrack. Oh, yep, there it is. Four of Swords. Four of Swords is like, I mean, it's a perfect card for being on home arrest, right? And also putting the swords down. I don't think he's like fighting. Okay, or it could be that he's just not talking. He's putting the swords down and he's not giving up information and he's just sort of playing dead. I mean, if you look at this crow, it's sort of a playing dead. So I think that's what that is actually. Let's see what's beneath the surface. Ace of Wands. Yeah, I mean, that would be like under arrest. Like the law has come. And the law continues to come, even if you're playing dead. They're watching you also. If you know that the idea that he might run. Like if you look at this crow, he's sort of like overlooking everything. So I feel he's being watched closely. Let's see what we have in the past. Oh, there it is. Okay, Two of Cups. They worked together. Yes, okay. So there's no doubt about it. And by working together, I mean, this card says Trump knew who and what Barrack was working for, the UAE, and was happy to align with whatever they fed him for whatever mutual benefit he got out of it. They were criminal associates. Oh my gosh. That is just crazy. Oh, okay. So I have 3. I'm gonna do all 3 of these for what's the near future. 7 of Pentacles, upside down. Right side up would be, I mean, this is like, you can see this crow is like sitting on something, right? Okay, so I think he's gonna be giving up information. I really do. He's sitting on something upside down. He's giving it up. And I sort of am picturing like in the cartoons when they want to get coins out of someone and they just flip the cartoon character upside down and all these coins come out. So that's what I'm getting there. That's pretty funny. And it's because they have him so, I mean, this is the thing. I think they are so thorough, and this is why everything's taking so long. It's like, this is a 10 of Swords. It's like they have him completely. They're like, we have you completely. 10 is like the most, the completion. Like, you're not getting out of this. So give something up. Yeah, and that's what this is also. 5 of Pentacles is a lost card. Yeah, so he's just getting like bad news and he's got to give something up or he's, you know, going to be destroyed. He's not, there's nothing here that says he's walking out of this. These are 3 very doom cards together. So let's see what else. Going to be interesting to see how Trump feels about it. What's Trump feeling? Oh my, another 2. 2 of Wands, 2 of Cups. 2 of Wands. This is interesting. I do think this was a big deal. 2 of Wands is entering into a new phase. They're entering into a new phase, I think, in the investigation. And look at that globe, that world at the top of these 2 wands. It's like this is like the key to getting into the bigger stuff on the world stage. Like I was saying, like there's like the inner New York mob and then it's like the bigger stuff, the world stuff. So I think that this tells me that this is taking them into the next bigger, like I think of like the 2 wands. The 2 of Wands is like a doorway that you're stepping through. It's the beginning of something new. It's like what comes after the Ace of Wands. It's like now we step forward. We've done the arrest and we're stepping in. What is this? 7 of Wands. Okay, well, yeah, he's playing hard to get. He's standing his ground. He's standing his ground, but this is coming. Like, this is like that. Like, I'm playing dead. I'm staying silent. I'm just standing my ground. Refusing to cooperate, I think, at this point. But this is what's coming, so. Hopes and fears. Like, I think they'll just wear him down and say, like, okay, but here's your deal. I mean, look, I mean, that 10 of Swords could really be jail. So it's like, talk to us. This could also, you know, I said it could be giving it up because it's upside down. You know, he really doesn't want to give it up. Why not? He must be scared. Let's see what hopes and fears. So we can see what this real fear is. He's really scared. Queen of Swords, huh? I don't know who that is. I never finished reading on this Queen of Swords, so I'll do that now. This would be a woman that he would be afraid of because of information that she has. And I thought of Melania's friend Stephanie Winston Wolkoff, who organized Trump's inauguration. I know she was working with the FBI, so the honest information she gave over could be a problem for him if he's trying to get away with lies. Final outcome. Queen of Wands. Huh. Knight of Pentacles, and an upside down Nine of Swords. Oh, and then the Chariot. Okay. Okay. Interesting. And this Chariot makes me think that he's thinking of fleeing, okay? I mean, the Chariot would be going somewhere fast, like escaping, going, but it could also be the law coming after him fast. Let's see. Well, I can say the Queen of Wands is lawful and powerful. So I think he might try to flee. There's like a tip. This Knight of Pentacles, someone gives this Queen of Wands a tip. I get this more now. This is him giving up something to authorities. The Queen of Wands, something financial in nature, helpful financial evidence in order to get himself out of what he's in, to alleviate his anxiety and avoid or lessen jail time. Nine of Wands is sort of similar to this Ten of Wands, right? It's sort of like the wands are coming down upon you. I keep saying wands here, but I meant swords, and I was reading them correctly as swords. And this is upside down. This upside down Nine of Swords could be an alleviation of anxiety, because upright it would be terrible anxiety, and then it's like upside down. I don't know. I mean, I hope he doesn't. I don't think he would get away with fleeing. I think this Queen of Wands will stop him. You know, and of course you flee to try to make this nightmare go away. Something about this does feel like shackles. Like, you know, he might have to end up going to sit in jail instead of have his freedom. But again, because it's upside down, I do see him turning over evidence in order to avoid that for himself, in order to get himself out of going to jail or lessen his sentence by a lot. He wants to be free and get somewhere safe fast. Oh, and look at this, the Moon. This is another feeling of, yeah, he really wants to run. The Moon would be like secrets, secret plans, and the Three of Wands wanting to go overseas, wanting to make that jump, wanting to get out of Dodge. But Judgment's there. The Empress can be like the United States of America. Yeah. And the Ten of Wands is like 10 of burdens that will drop upon him. So we'll see. Page of Wands news. Someone telling on him. Which I now see as him, of course, singing like a canary, giving up the goods on his old friend to unburden himself. So that's interesting. But all in all, it's just nice to, it was really interesting to think of that sort of message I got back then about what does the FBI have on him? Is it true? And then they're like, look for his old friends to be arrested is basically the message I got. And here we are, it's happening. So I think we're moving into a new phase, and it's gonna start to close in more and more on 45 and the bigger picture of what he was up to on the world stage for a little scary while in America. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.